I'm going to be working on a Bosch dishwasher. So the complaint is that the cycle is now longer than it was originally. It just keeps going and going and going. So when you hit regular wash, it will just go for hours and hours and hours. And then when it does finish, the sanitizing light does not come on. So it's possible that it's not sanitizing, or if it is, it's not indicating as such. So more than likely it's the control module, which is underneath all these buttons here. So we're going to replace the control module, and 99% of the time that's what the problem is. Very rarely does the motor go out, or any of these mechanical devices. They rarely fail. So we are going to replace the module. Let's get started. As with most appliances nowadays, all of these screws are Torx. So in this case it's a T20, and we'll just start taking. Here we have our door panel removed. Now the door panel weight is actually what keeps the door open. So the door is going to want to close. If you need to keep it open, then you're going to have to either hold it open or put some sort of weight on there or jam it somehow. So here's our new control module. We purchased it through the Bosch retailer. Actually, I purchased it on their website. It's about $150 plus tax plus shipping. I might have got it for free shipping, I can't remember. But anyway, I like to go through the original manufacturer for parts. There are other appliance websites out there, but I don't know. I really don't like them. And I found that the OEMs are very competitive. And as a matter of fact, they've actually beat the discounters on several different parts and pieces. So I just go directly to them. You can punch in your model number and it brings it up. And so you're certain to be getting the correct part. So here's the location of the control module. So you can see it's behind this plate here. So we're going to have to access it and replace it. So here's the old control module. Before I unplug it, I'm going to bring the new one over here, and I'm going to transfer the buttons. I'm going to do it one at a time because I see some crud on the edge here. So I'm going to clean them up one at a time and transfer them to the new module. So I keep old toothbrushes as cleaners, and I'll just clean up the old buttons, get all that crud off of there, and transfer it to the new control module. It's just a little pin that slips on the little rubber push button here. Alright, I have all the buttons transferred from the old module to the new module, and then I will transfer one at a time all of the cable harness plug-ins. That way I don't have to remember it or label it or mark it. I'll just transfer them one by one and be done with it that way. So you can look on the new module and see how the plugs are locked in place. There's these little tabs you need to depress in order to free the connector loose. And then you just take the old one out, put the new one in. So you really don't want to pull on the wires, as you might break the connection. So you just want to get your little pry tool in here and then just kind of lift up on it so it overrides the tab, or you can depress the tab and override on it to remove the terminal to put into the new module. What you want to notice is there's some open connections on this particular one. There's one here, and there's one on the side. So by transferring them one at a time and noting the position, you won't mess up, because it looks like you could actually plug this one in over here and that would be incorrect. So when you transfer them one at a time, you're sure to put it in the correct place. So the control module is anchored in 3 places. So if you look, you can see it's held in this slot here. There's one on the other side, and then on the back side it slips into this holder tab. So when you put the new one in, be sure it goes in like that. These sheet metal tabs are bent in to hold the plastic in place. I just bent them out a little bit to free it up. Then there are 2 tabs on either side of the locking device. Then there's another tab about halfway down between the locking device and the other end tab that matches the other side. And then it just comes right out with the module. Actually, the module fell out for me on its own, so I didn't have to deal with that. Alright, for reassembly, I highly recommend that you take this panel off, reassemble everything, and then put it on as a unit. It's much easier that way, and then instead of trying to fight it, put the plastic down in places, and I'll show you that. So on either side there's a single screw that's going to hold that in place. You just take that screw out, and let's see, and then you can remove the sheet metal panel. See, it's just so much easier to deal with it this way. Put everything back together, all nice and easy. Need to get this panel slid back up here within those slots. You have these tabs here you need to bend and lock it in place, so it's just much easier to deal with it with that sheet metal panel removed. Alright, you want to make sure your tab is properly engaged up here. Make sure your two tabs are properly engaged up at the top here, and that all of your buttons are properly aligned. Same thing on the other side with the on-off button. Also, there's a tab to keep it locked in on the side, to keep the side nice and tight over here. You want to make sure that's properly engaged. It was a bit of a pain on the other side. So now our repair is essentially complete. We just need to reassemble everything. We'll start by putting the two screws in that hold the side on, and then we'll put the door on and we'll be done. Well, I'm not going to re-edit everything. You know, I took it apart, and now I know an easier way to do it now that I've had it apart. And that is, before I get to the point where I took off the plastic, really you should remove it as an entire unit by removing the screws on the side here, taking that off, change your module out, and putting it back. So in reassembling the door panel, what you want to do is start the two long top screws first, and that'll hold the door in place, and then you can do all the screws on the inside, on the side there, and then finish off with the top screws. Now I've already powered it up once off camera before I assembled everything to make sure that it worked. So I'm going to power it up again, see if it does the same thing. And the regular wash comes on, which is the way it was before. When I first powered it up, the regular wash and power scrub plus came on. That came on for a second, then all the lights came on, and they didn't flash or anything, they just all came on. That was a good sign. I assumed it was booting up, and then I turned it off, and now the second time I turned it on, the regular wash came on, which is what we have seen before and what we're used to seeing. Alright, let's run it and see how it works. So I took the control module apart, and I think I found out what the problem is. Right here, if you look in this corner, you'll see like a black spot, almost like it exploded down in there. See how it's darker than the surrounding area? See how everything's green, and then that's a dark spot there. Here we are on the other side. It looks like it just blew. See how that solder connection is just destroyed? Like there was some sort of surge or something. So anyway, so I believe that's the problem. At least I found something, so that's good. Oh yeah, I can see all kinds of debris where it's splattered all about. Yeah, so whatever it was, I had to get a new module.